Welcome to the Payback Team Training Call, and we're going to talk about processes today. The process of this business is super simple. I'm going to put my notes right here so I can follow along here and in one line, one order. So first, obviously, pretty simple part. Every single one of you have gone through this. You got to get licensed, and then you got to go through the training. And here on our team, we have a phenomenal boot camp. If you haven't gone through the boot camp, go through the boot camp because it explains all the processes. It gives you all of the scripts that you need to use. It talks a little bit about the leads as well to help you understand the leads. So go through that. And then the process is to start selling, right? Once you start selling, you got to buy leads. That's the first step. How do you buy leads? Well, first, let me back up a little bit. Before you even buy leads, you have to decide when you're going to work. Your schedule becomes the holy grail. We talked about this on other trainings. If you don't have a schedule, you need to get your schedule in line. The schedule is your plan of what's going to happen to start hitting your goals. Okay. If you want to be at a certain plot or a certain spot by the end of this year, you have to plan to get there. And so we're 4 months away from the end of this year. So plan out your goals and then put those in your schedule. And what I like to do is schedule out 2 weeks of what I know exactly I'm going to do for the next 2 weeks. And then every 1 week, go back and visit that. And why do you do it every 1 week? Well, every 1 week, you're only going to have to look, you're going to look at, review the next week because you're already going to have that plan in your schedule, but you're also going to plan for that following week. And the reason why you do it every 1 week and plan for 2 weeks is because that next week that you already have planned may change a little bit. And if it changes a little bit, that's okay. You can move some things around. But if you don't have a plan, you're actually planning to fail. Okay? Planning is the number one key to help you become successful in this business. Okay? Then what you're going to do is start buying leads. Whatever leads you want to work. Final expense are the easiest leads to work. A lot of times, if you want to just get started, just start on final expense. You don't have to know anything about mortgages. Final expense you're dealing with people that need the coverage. They're older. They have health issues. So it's going to train you on getting used to health issues. You're going to be able to get them coverage right away. You're not going to get paid as much as an agent with final expense as you would mortgage protection or IULs, but that's okay. It gets your feet wet. It gets you going. Okay. Now, once you buy leads, the next process is to learn mortgage protection. And then all you're doing is the same thing as final expense, but now you're covering people that have a mortgage and they want to protect their family in case they die or get hurt, sick, or injured, and they want to pay off a mortgage. Okay, so you have to learn a little bit about mortgages. If you never bought a house, Google them or ask, right? Ask me, send me a text. Ask me any question you need to. You guys have full access to me. The next thing that you want to learn is IULs. IULs are the bigger ticket item. IULs will save you time to allow you to work on your business and not in your business. IULs will give you a higher paycheck. They will also get you more clients because once somebody gets an IUL, they like to refer their friends and family to you. So IULs are a fantastic product to start making a lot of money. Okay, my average IUL target premium is about $11,000. Okay, that means if that's my average, almost every IUL I get paid about $11,000. Now, some of them are more than that, some of them are less than that, right? But IULs are the biggest ticket items. Okay. Then annuities. Annuities can be just as big as IULs. So that's kind of the process of the learning. And then what you're going to do is you're going to buy some leads. I've talked about that a few times already now, kind of repeating myself here. So you're going to buy some leads and you're going to buy leads on a consistent basis. Okay. And just remember this, write this down. Persistency will get you there. Consistency will keep you there. By being consistent buying leads, it will keep you consistent in selling. Okay. How do you buy leads? Well, one, you can set up a campaign through the ILC to have leads dropped in there. That's an easy way to do it. They'll actually give you a discount if you do it that way. There's a 1 month commitment if you do it that way. You don't get a lot of leads that way. I'm just warning you, but you do get some leads. You can also do some outside marketing, and if you want to do that, I can help you with that. If you another way to do it is just go in and buy leads the day, 2 days before, or the day before. And I like to tell my agents, buy 100 leads twice a week. Okay, whatever that may be, whatever your budget is. If your budget is $500 a week, then spend $250 on Monday, $250 on Thursday. If that $250 gets you the dollar leads of 100 leads, then go with the dollar leads. If that $250 gets you the $5 leads, go with the $5 leads, right? But we want to start off, the process is we're going to start off on the cheaper leads. Why? Because it's going to put you through the fire. It's going to help you learn the objections. When you learn the objections, now you can learn the rebuttals. And when you learn the rebuttals, now you can get around 80 to 90% of the people out there that have some type of excuse of why they want life insurance, but they don't want to pay for it, right? So that's going to put you through the objections. Now, once you start selling on a consistent basis, then you can start buying the higher dollar leads. What does that do for you? Well, the higher dollar leads, you buy 100 leads twice a week, you're going to have 200 leads. 80% of those leads may not even pick up the phone. 15% of those leads are going to pick up the phone and call you names that you never heard of before and try to spit on your face through the phone and then hang up, right? And then 5% of those leads are going to be on the fence. Maybe you run a presentation, they're kind of on the fence and you weren't able to close them. And then one of those leads is going to say, you know what? Hey, Tiffany, I filled out that form about a year and a half ago, and I just wasn't ready, but I'm ready right now. Mom died. I wish we would have had the coverage. I'm ready to go right now. So it's about being in front of people at the right time. And as a new person, you have less money and more time, right? If you don't have enough time, you need to figure out what your priorities are. Right? Is it learning the insurance business or is it doing the other things, right? Because at the beginning of any business, we have to sacrifice some things. The first 6 months to a year is like drinking water from a fire hose. Maybe that's even a birthday party for taking your kid to a birthday party. Maybe you find somebody else to do that for you while you're working, right? And learning the business, because as you get going, for a longer period of time and start to become more consistent, start making more money. Now what you can do is you have more money and you have less time. Why? Why does that benefit you? Because now you can buy the higher dollar leads, the ones that cost a little bit more. They have less objections. They just filled out the form a month or two ago, maybe 2 days ago, depending on the leads that you bought. And they're hot. They want life insurance right now to protect their family. And no other agent has ever talked to them before. And so they want to talk to somebody. And to be honest with you, I was buying the $90 leads until I found somebody to do marketing for me. And I still buy the leads in the ILC to supplement for me as well. And I use, our CRM to help me set appointments with those leads. But I was buying the $90 leads. Now think about this. I mean, if you're paying for 10 leads that cost $90 a piece, that's $900. But out of those 10 leads, I would call all 10 of them. And how long does it take me to call them? Literally, probably, I don't know, an hour, maybe a half an hour, depending on how many people you talk to. But an hour, I can call 10 leads. Now, out of those 10 leads, I can get 5, 6, 7 appointments. And out of those 5, 6, 7 appointments, they're fresh, they're hot, they're ready to buy right now. I'd probably sell maybe 4 or 5 of those, maybe 6 or 7 if I'm having a really good week. Out of those 5 to 7, literally, I'm making, if it's mortgage protection, I would be helping literally probably 4 to 5 families per phone call, if you know what I mean. And so my IP, my issue paid, would be up there anywhere between 10 to 15,000, sometimes 15 to 20,000 if I'm having a really good week, off of $900 for leads. Okay. Now, you don't have to just go from one up to the other. There's leads in the middle there. What I broke my teeth on, or I can't think of the actual saying right now, not broke my teeth, but but I don't know. I can't even think about it or think what it is, but cut my teeth. What I cut my teeth on was the 3 month to the 6 month old mortgage. I love those because they just bought a house 3 months ago, 6 months ago, and literally, they probably talked to 2 or 3, you know, insurance agents. Maybe it didn't work out for them. Maybe the second one that they called said, they said, hey, I'm not interested, and then hung up on them. And then they didn't call back, right? And then the third one said, hey, I can help you. And they said, I'm not interested. And they were real nice about it and hung up, and then got rid of them. But they didn't talk to you, right? And maybe you say something a little bit different than the previous guy, and the previous guy than the other one. Maybe you're more personable. Because why do people buy? Do they buy because of the product? Not necessarily. Most of the time they buy because of you. They're buying you. That's the credibility, right? And if you're very personable and they know that you can help them out, they're literally going to they'll bend over backwards for your help because they need help. They want help. Maybe the other guy, there's so much business that I created from the 3 month to the 6 month mortgage leads, the mailers. And in the ILC, you actually get the template. So you can click on the little button called the template, and that's the actual form that they filled out. You can see their handwriting. So I encourage you to, get consistent, get through the objections. And the reality of it is once you learn the objections, they're only going to say about 10 to 15 different objections. Once you learn them, you'll always know them. And then you learn the rebuttals, and then you'll always know them, and you'll be able to overcome almost every objection out there. Okay. Now, the process for dialing. Dialing is an important thing, right? We don't want to waste time when we're on the phones. When we put on our calendar that we're going to work from 9 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, and we're going to take a 2-hour break in between there, guess what? You better do what you say you're going to do, because if you don't, you're only hurting yourself, and then you're teaching your family that you can't do what you say you're going to do. But here's the reality. If you don't, you're taking time and money and helping a family off the table. Okay. So we want to make our time while we're working the most efficient possible. And we want to put our blinders on so nothing distracts us. So when I was dialing, we have technology now that can do that. When I was dialing, I would just put my phone on focus. I have an Apple iPhone, put it on focus. Nobody else can touch me. No text messages come in. If text messages come in, I'm answering them at a different time, right? Right now, it's time to go to work. And if you think about it, if you have a 9 to 5 job and you have to show up at 9 o'clock, and let's say you're working at Walmart and you're a manager, if you're sitting there looking at your phone, people are texting you as a manager, and you're a front desk manager or wherever, your manager at Walmart's going to come up to you and say, hey, put the phone away. It's time to work. Well, here you got to be your own boss and do the same thing. If you say you're going to work at 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. at night, then do it. But here's the thing. We're not working an hour-to-hour job. Okay. So we don't say, okay, well, I'm going to work till 8 o'clock and then see how many appointments I can get. No, that's not the deal here. Our goal is to get 30 appointments a week to start off. As you get better, you should have about 60 appointments a week. Right now, I have about 60, 70 appointments a week on average. Okay. But I don't always dial anymore. But I know how to dial. If I get on the phones, I can set appointments galore, right? That's why I'm able to teach it. And if you guys want to grow a team, you have to get good on the phone so that you can teach it, because that's where the passive income is. We're going to do another training on recruiting and growing your business as well. We're going to kind of stay away from that for today though. But you want to get really, really, really good on the phones. And the way to do that is repetition, right? You want to get good at riding a bike? Go ride a bike. You want to get good at speed reading? Read books. You want to get good at driving? Go drive a car, right? It's the same thing here. You want to get really good at setting appointments? Set appointments. So what I did with myself was I would say, okay, I'd play a game with myself and I rewarded myself when I hit my goal. And the way I rewarded myself was I was done for the day. Okay. So I would say, okay, I'm going to work from 9 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I always like to work till 1 because then you catch those people that are on lunch break between 11 and 1. And some of them go to from 12 to 1, some of them go to 11 to 12, but you're catching them right there at that time. So at 1 o'clock, I would say, okay, and I'd do it in two hour to 2.5 hour increments. And between that 2 hour to 2.5 hours, I would take a 10-minute break. And during that 10 minutes, I'm actually, because if you focus on one thing for a long time, you get into what's called deep focus. You've heard of those people that say, I need to get in the zone, right? I need to get in the zone. Or computer programmers, they're like zoned in and they're in the zone and they're just, it's in a flow state is what they call it, right? Well, the brain can get into a flow state in a deep zone for about 2 to 2.5 hours. So my goal was I wanted to set 5 appointments. I wanted 10 appointments a day, but I wanted to set 5 appointments within my first 2 to 2.5 hours. And so I would put the blinders on and every single phone call, every single phone number that I had, I was dialing 3 times. If they didn't answer, boom, I'm moving on to the next one. No space, no nothing. I'm just picking up the phone, just dialing, just dialing, just dialing, just dialing. And by the time 2.5 hours came around, my goal was 5. I'd maybe have 3. And so I'd say, okay, I got 2 more appointments I need to set by 1 o'clock because if I didn't have 5 by 1 o'clock, I'm not going to lunch. I'm not taking 2 hours off. That's just the discipline that I had. And so I said, okay, in order to get 2 more by 1 o'clock, I want to try to set 1 more. And a lot of times I'd say, okay, I got 3. It's 11 o'clock right now. You know, I start at 9. 11 o'clock is 2 hours. I'd say I'm gonna call 1 more. I'm gonna get 1 more appointment, and I keep dialing until I got 1 more. Now, if it's 11:30, I still needed that 10-minute break to freshen my mind. So if I didn't get that 1 o'clock, that 1 extra one, I would still go take my break. But I'm still going for that 1 more, because if you get into a momentum, you don't want to stop that momentum. Just keep letting it ride. There's sometimes where I was just like, boom, boom, boom. I'd have the cheapest leads possible, and I'd set like 8 appointments. And I was like, man, I'm on fire today and just rolling, right? And I just kept going and going and going. And so then now I get back on the phones. Okay, so I take the 10-minute break. When I take the 10-minute break, I am not thinking about anything that has to do with life insurance. I'm not thinking about dialing. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm literally giving my mind a break. And during that break, maybe I'm checking my text message. I call my wife, see what's going on with the family, right? I'm just thinking about something else. Now, after the 10 minutes, I'm back on the phones. I'm ready to dial. I run through the script in my head 1 more time, get it fresh in my mind. And then I pick up the phone and I start dialing, and it's like a race car. I got 2 more left by 1 o'clock, 2 more left by 1 o'clock. If I don't get the 2 more left by 1 o'clock, I'm staying after school, right? You don't get your homework done, stay after school. That's what they taught us back when we were in school, right? Why can't we use that analogy right now? Okay. And then if it's 2:30 by that time, now I still got an hour and a half break. Perfect. And I got 5 appointments that I can make money off of. Now, when I'm coming back, now here's the other side of it, right? What if I get my 5 appointments by 11 o'clock? I'm not taking a long break. Guess what? I'm going for the next 10 by 1 o'clock. Why? Because by 1 o'clock, I want to take a lunch. And if I get 10 of them by 1 o'clock, guess what? I just worked half a day. I'm taking off the rest of the day. I got my 10. Okay. Now, at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock when I jumped back on. So I took off between 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then 4 o'clock I would jump back on. And, again, if I'm at lunch or if I'm at break, I'm not thinking about life insurance. I'm not talking to anybody. Nowadays I may take a recruiting call or talk to somebody about recruiting that wants to get in the business, that kind of thing. But back then when I was just straight dialing, that's what I would do. I would give my mind a break. I would take a break. That way, when I come back at 4 o'clock, I am fresh and I am ready to go. I'm excited. I'm imagining on the other side of the phone that there's a person that really, really needs help. Their family is in dire straits, and maybe their family member died. Who knows what God's plan is? They may be dying on Wednesday, next Wednesday, and if we don't get them coverage, their family's out of luck, right? There's been so many stories about that happening. There's a lot of stories throughout FFL about how they pushed somebody, not pushed, but super encouraged, so to say, somebody to get coverage when they said no. And then all of a sudden that person died within the next week, right? And so when you have that type of mindset, what would you do if that was your mom? What would you do if that was your husband that was going to die in a week and you didn't have coverage and they didn't have coverage? Sorry. And would you push them to get coverage? Yeah, you'd probably push a little bit harder if you knew they were going to die in a week. And if you have that type of mental attitude with them, you're going to get more appointments. Okay. So when you get back on the phones, now I got 5 appointments left and I got 4 hours to do it until 8 o'clock. Legally, you can call till 9 o'clock. Okay. Technically, legally, you can call all night long because we're technically not soliciting, because they filled out the form, requested information from us, right? Now, out of respect though, I used to always dial till 9 o'clock. I would set it to where I want to be done by 8 o'clock. But here's the deal. If I didn't get my 10 appointments by 8 o'clock, I'm staying after school. I'm staying after school. But if I got my 10 appointments done by 4:30, I'm done for the rest of the day. And guess what? That gave me motivation to get done because I rewarded myself every single day. Every single day. Okay. And that's how you get as many appointments as you can. Now, if you don't hit 10, so what? Keep dialing. And then the next day, you're running appointments and dialing. So now you have appointments the next day. And if they do a no-show, guess what? You're setting 10 appointments for the next day while they're no-showing. If they no-show, no problem. Just follow up with them, get them back on the schedule at a later date. But and then while that time is there, you're not twiddling your thumbs trying to figure out what to do. You're dialing your leads, setting appointments for the next day. Because the more appointments you have, the more families you can help, and the more people you can help, the more money you can put into your pocket. And the reality of it is if we average $1,000 a policy, how many policies you got to sell to make 30,000? One policy a day. If you have 10 appointments a day, how hard is it to sell one policy a day? It's not that hard, right? So all you have to do though is put in the work. And that's where most agents fail, is putting in the work. Because is this job really, really, really that hard? We're not on top of a roof at 105-degree weather, nailing down shingles. We're not putting up a garage with siding all over it when it's 105 degrees outside. We're not pouring concrete, chopping up concrete, lifting it up, putting it into a dumpster, right? All we're doing is talking to people. That's it. That's all we do every single day is talk to people. And is it fun? Not always, but is putting concrete in the back of a truck fun? Is picking up dog poop in the backyard fun? There's no business out there. Is accounting fun? Heck no. I cannot stand accounting. I hate taxes. No offense to any tax people out there. But my point is like, this is a no big deal job. But the more we put into it, the faster we're going to learn, the faster we're going to get over that learning curve, because everybody's got a learning curve, whether it be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you can take up to a year to get through that learning curve, right? You get through that learning curve, and guess what? Your income is just going to skyrocket, and you're going to feel really, really good, because this business is the most noblest business I know of, that you can get paid as well as we do. There's no other business that you can get paid what we do by helping families protect themselves. I don't know where else you can go, not even in real estate. And trust me, I've been in real estate. I know how it works. It's not all cracked up to what it seems to be, right? So, okay, when you get on the phones, the next process, obviously, dial, but set your goals. And then here's the reality, guys. Don't look for the outcome. You have your goal, but don't focus on the outcome. Well, you say, well, Sean, how do I hit my goal if I don't focus on the outcome? You focus on the process and enjoy the process. What's the process? Dialing and talking to people. That's the process. Setting appointments, enjoying the time on the phone with your clients, getting to know them, getting personable with them. When you get personable with them, talk to them a little bit, especially when you're on the appointment. Now, setting the appointment is a little bit different. It's sometimes hard to get a little bit personal, but when you're on the appointment and you get personable, then they understand that you care. And guess what? Now they're going to buy from you just because they care. They know you care, right? So enjoy the process. Don't look to the outcome. Enjoy the process. Okay. Okay. The next part of step 2, that was all part of step 1. So the next part, step 2, is to get to $30,000 a month. Issue paid 30,000 a month. Okay. At 30,000 a month, things will start to open for you. Okay. Let me back up. 20,000 a month. If you're doing 20,000 a month, that's when you hire an admin. They're going to take care of your carriers and your clients. A lot of times when you call a carrier, you got to sit on hold to verify a policy, get some information about a policy. Why didn't this one go through? Or maybe you need to change a beneficiary. Maybe you need to, change, maybe you messed up an address or something, right? You sit on hold with a carrier for 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes out of your dial time. That's taking you off of focus. The brain can only do one thing at a time. Despite what everybody thinks, it can only do one thing at a time. It can do one thing at a time very, very, very quickly. And that's called multitasking, but it can only do one thing at a time. So if you're in deep focus and you're dialing and setting appointments, and all of a sudden you got to call a carrier, you have to call the carrier, right? But it's going to take you out of focus. You have to take care of your clients, but it's going to take you out of focus. So when you get to 20,000, you should have enough income to hire a admin person. And once you get to that point, you can reach out to me and I can have my admin person train your admin person on all the processes that they go through in order to take care of your clients, take care of your carriers as well. Because they'll also call your clients and make sure that their beneficiaries are in the right spot. They'll let them know that their policies have been approved. They'll let them know, hey, your policy is in underwriting. We haven't gotten any information back yet. They're going to stay in tune with your clients for you. And you can get an admin for, less than $1,000 a month. It's super cheap. And my admin, as you know, is Thea. She's in the Philippines. And they are hard workers. If I ask her to do anything, the next words that come back through Skype is, I'm on it. It's that simple. They will do anything for you. So it starts off working with carriers and clients, and then you can start training them on extra activities that you want them to do throughout the day. Okay. And it's very, very cost effective by having an admin. It's going to free up time for you because you won't have to call the carriers. You won't have to call the clients. If you need to talk to a client or a client needs to talk to you, your admin will call the client and put them on your schedule through your CRM. Okay. By the way, once you get to 5 policies, you should definitely get Lead Champ Pro because it's costing you money not to have it. It's costing you money not to have it right now, but you got to get some money coming in first. Okay, where are we at here? talked about master the phones, talked about hiring an admin. Okay, so once you get to 30,000 a month, that's the goal, right? Now we can start talking about recruiting. Actually, we can start talking about recruiting day one, right? If you want to have a big business and you want to have passive income to where you don't have to work for it, you have to grow a team. You have to teach other people. Zig Ziglar always, if you guys don't know who Zig Ziglar is, he is a motivational speaker and business developer, so to say. Taught a lot of business developers a lot of stuff. But he used to always say, you know, if you want to get what you want, you have to help enough other people get what they want. If you want to get what you want, you have to help enough other people get what you want. And there are people in this world that are looking for an opportunity to change their life and change the people's lives around them. Okay. And you can get paid to help them change their life, just like you would get paid as a manager at Walmart, right? What are you doing at Walmart as a manager? You're helping the new cashiers, or you're helping the new stock people as a manager, right? It's the same concept. Here you get paid to help them as well. And it's passive income, because once you train somebody, then you can train them on how to train other people. And then their business is going to grow alongside your business. Okay. But you want to start recruiting day one, because if you don't know how to train somebody, that's where I come in. That's where the team comes in. All you got to do is plug them into the system. Now, once you get to 30,000 a month, that's when we start talking about, let's spend some money on marketing so that you can get some people interested in you and working with you. Okay. So that's the next process after that. Throughout this process, you want to get on live dials. Live dials is going on every single day from, I don't know, 7 a.m. to last man standing, usually 10, 11 o'clock at night. Drake's on there. And on live dials, here's how it works. A lot of times you're not going to hear anything because people are doing other things, but you're literally in an office situation. You're around other people with like-minded goals and attributes, right? So if you do this on your own, you're not going to go very far. You'll be motivated sometimes, but when you're with a team and when you're with other people, you can see and ask questions and just have conversations with other people, right? And here's the thing, when you're on live dials, if you have a question, all you have to do is unmute and somebody there will help you. We have an awesome live dial group. A lot of times it's silent, but when somebody is running a policy live, just hit pause, listen, learn, right? Take notes. And when you listen and learn and take notes, then you'll be able to take those little nuggets that you learn and apply that into your life, right? Get to the events. You always want to get to the events. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Here's some processes of a successful agent that you guys are gonna want to do. Number one, you got to take care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. You don't take care of yourself, how are you supposed to take care of other people? How are you supposed to take care of your family if you're unhealthy, right? I don't see anybody, well, I probably shouldn't say this. This is going to go on YouTube, so I won't. But if you're not healthy, you know, you're only hurting, you're not just hurting yourself, you're hurting the people around you as well, because they rely on your health to make money. They rely on your health to think clearly, to make good decisions for your family, to make good decisions for your business. So health is a part of it. So wake up early. That means go to bed early. Try to do the best you can to get 8 hours of sleep. That helps rejuvenate your mind and your body, restores everything. Then get up, you know, and what I like to do at first is meditate. Okay. I meditate for 15 minutes minimum. I try to meditate for about a half an hour. I get my mindset right. Then I go to the gym, get some exercise. Start off small. If you don't exercise normally, start off small. Maybe that's walking around the block. Maybe that's just joining a gym. And for me, I joined one of the most expensive gyms here in Omaha. Why? Because that makes me go to the gym. That's my mindset. If I'm going to pay for it, I'm going to go use it. And I use it every day, sometimes twice a day. Okay. And you'll get into a habit, and that habit then will become a lifestyle. And when it becomes a lifestyle, then you don't think about it anymore. You just do it. Do I want to go to the gym every day? No. Do I want to work out every day? No. But I can guarantee you this. I have never said, after I get done with my workout, I have never said, oh, I wish I would have never worked out today. Right? Even times where I pulled a muscle, I'm still grateful that I worked out. Right? All because I can think better, my endorphins are going, I'm thinking clearly, and my muscles are now stronger. And there's statistics out there that say that one of the things that cause, people to die early is low muscle mass. Low muscle mass. And so we have to be able to work on ourselves physically as well. Pray in the morning. I don't know if you're a God person. I am. But I pray every morning. I pray at night. I bring that spirituality into my life. And then overall, be a good person, right? Help people, smile at people. They say that if you put a smile on your face, it puts endorphins into your brain that just help you have a good mood, right? And it attracts people to you when you put a smile on your face, okay? And then one last thing, guys, and then we're done. Don't quit until your goals are met. Okay. A lot of people fall short and they think, well, I set my goal a little bit too high. That doesn't mean that you can't stop going for them. In football, there's a lot of times where it's the fourth quarter and one team is at 49 points, the other one's at 7 points. Well, you got to, the team that doesn't have any ambition is giving up. They're done, right? But the winners, the fluke ones, the ones that have the 7 points that they're not used to losing, you can see them. They're acting like it's still the first quarter, and they're driving and they're driving and they're driving, even though they're getting beat down. Look, this is life. This is the way life is. I mean, we have ups and downs in everything that we do. We're going to have ups and downs in this business. And so we have to keep pushing forward, even though our goals aren't met. If our goals were met, then you set them too low. And that's sometimes a good thing, because if you've strived and, you set this goal and you haven't hit it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you still keep going towards it. And then one day, you hit it. Doesn't mean that it was cut too short. It just means that at that point in time, it was now short because you've developed and became that person to hit that goal. So don't ever give up. Winners never quit and quitters never win. So that's all I got for you guys. You guys have a wonderful day. Get on Live Dials. Reach out to me if you have any questions. You guys have my link if you guys want to schedule an hour strategy call with me. Get on my schedule, and you and I will do a one-on-one and create a strategy session. You guys have a great day.